Hey girl, hey. Welcome to the Self-Care Saturday Talk. On this week's episode, we are going to talk about how to take your power back. And I've been a little MIA lately. I've just been going through a lot of expansion and healing in my journey. So I'm sorry, but I think that we are finally done with all of that. And now I can focus and really start bringing weekly videos back. So if you are new, welcome. If you are coming back, welcome back. I'm so glad to have you. We're going to talk about how to take your power back this week. What I mean by that is, are you in a relationship where your needs aren't being met? Well, I was, but it was kind of my fault because I used to believe that it was my partner's job to make me feel good and to fill my cup up every day, until I realized that I was giving all of my power away. Today, I'm going to share how I healed and took my power back and learned to pour into my own cup, and how you can too. It does feel not so good, right? When you're not feeling your best and when you're not feeling good about yourself. And so why would we want to continue to give our power away? Well, it all kind of started with a belief that I had. And I'm sure that so many other people have this belief as well. So I'm going to talk about it. Let's talk about first of how society and like the movies kind of condition you to believe that, right? Like in the past, all of our movies, the Disney movies, was Prince Charming was coming to save the day. And even in some of those shows and other movies that I watched, the man came and was going to save the day. And, they were supposed to make us happy, right? That's all those movies kind of showed. And unfortunately, I bought it. I thought the man was going to come in and save the day and make me happy. Well, it comes out to be really that is not the case, right? And that we shouldn't put all of that effort and power into somebody else's hands. So I did go through, some tough times because I didn't love myself enough due to not only the movie conditions, but also like when I was younger too, I would be shamed of doing good things for myself that made me feel good, due to either financial strains or whatever. People used to use different examples to kind of make me feel guilty for doing these things. I even noticed that in some of the relationships where my partner was, not too fond of me spending money and doing this and that for myself. It kind of made me stop doing that. And, one thing that I did realize during this whole process, that is, no one deserves that much power over our happiness, right? Like, we are giving them all of the power. So if they're not feeling good about their day, how are they going to really help us, right? And pour into us? It's almost impossible. So I started healing through, my childhood trauma and really doing some shadow work and working on healing myself. And with that healing work that I did, I actually learned to love myself and to care for myself, no matter what other people thought and said. It didn't matter anymore because I knew that this was something that I had to do. And with that being said, giving myself self-love and self-care every day, I also was able to gain my self-worth back as well. So I not only healed my trauma and all that, but I was able to learn how to give myself daily self-love and self-care, which then gave me the power because now my self-worth went up. It wasn't controlled by somebody else. My days used to be kind of controlled by somebody. If they didn't validate me, or they didn't say this thing to me, or that would really affect my mood and how I see myself. It's not a great way to live, to say the least. Sometimes, you kind of get stuck in that pattern, and you don't really know until you learn and you do something different and you're like, wait, oh, there's a whole new way to do this. And so that's kind of what I did, is I knew that way wasn't working after failed relationships and stuff like that. And I had to find a different way. And the different way was, one of the healthiest ways that I could, because some people want to distract themselves by doing other things that aren't healthy. But, I knew it was time to do something different and not to distract myself in an unhealthy manner, right? So one of the key things that I learned was your partner should add to your happiness, but not create your happiness or be the reason for your happiness. They can add to it, but they are not the whole package of it. And that is one thing that was like one of my biggest takeaways from that, was they need to add to it, but not be the reason for it. I kind of mentioned this earlier, but I mean, one of the other things that I've noticed, right, too, because in the movies and all of that, it gives a whole different show of how, everything is just so perfect, la 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 la, happily ever after, right? That's how every movie, wants to end and stuff. So that gives you a false sense of truth. That kind of showed like one aspect of it, right? But once you start healing and you're able to kind of see things from a different perspective, and you're able to open up and be more mindful about things, because my unhealed self was very I wasn't open to other perspectives. I seen it the way I seen it, and it was my way, and that was that. And healing helps me open up my perspective and be able to see things differently. And so with that, I was able to I was able to take those rose-colored glasses off and see that, oh my goodness, half of these people, I mean, I would say even more than half at this point, they don't even love themselves enough. So if they don't even love themselves enough to love them, then how are they going to be able to love you and pour that into you every day? They can't. So guess who ends up being depressed, sad, angry, not living their best life? Is you. Because you are giving your power away to people who can't even manage it on their own. Don't give your power away, because the only thing that ends up is you feeling disappointed, you feeling resentful, you feeling angry. You are not happy with your life because you are focusing on everything besides yourself. What you need to do is to make yourself a priority. And by doing that is doing something for yourself every day, no matter what, right? And I'm going to give you some things that you can do. But even on those busy days, do a little something. I do something every day to make me feel good. And though that is such a game changer, because if you're not feeling good about yourself and what you're doing, your life, is just going to feel so dreadful. So, it's not going to feel good. So making sure that you are feeling good throughout your day is a very important part of this. Here are some things that I highly recommend and that I did on my journey and that I still do to this day to make me feel good about myself, okay? Is talk to yourself like someone you love. Now, I find that we are our biggest critics, right? And we kind of look at ourselves or we talk bad about ourselves in our head and all of that. No, we need to stop. That really brings down our energy, brings down our mood, and it doesn't set us up for success. And also do one thing a day that brings you joy. At least one thing. Care for your health and fitness. And I know, people are gonna not be happy with this, but I'm serious. When you start, feeling good on the inside and you start these things where you're eating healthy and you're exercising, moving your body, you're drinking more water, like you just shine from the inside out, and it totally revamps how you even stand, right? When you are doing things for your health and fitness, you're proud of yourself. You must stand and sit a little prouder and a little taller. And I'm not going to tell you how to do that because your health and fitness journey is going to be different than mine, but I would just say start eating healthier, make sure you get your water in. And even if you're not big into exercise, at least start with some walks. Get the energy moving, move your body around. Your body will thank you for it later. Journal daily to help you release the negative and also highlight the positives. Write down everything that happens, the good and the bad, and that way you can feel good about the good, and then you also are releasing the negative, because sometimes, we hold on to that negativity and that just like festers into us and turns us resentful and angry and not being our best versions of ourselves neither. And then also celebrate those small wins, having a good day, doing something good for yourself, drinking that water, small healthy meal, whatever those small wins are for you, celebrate them, because that is kind of what keep you going on the journey. I'm going to be frank with you here. We've talked about a lot of taking your power back, right? And that is very important. But also, this healing process and doing this work isn't just about you. This impacts your kids, your future kids, younger generations, nieces, nephews, whomever. Don't break this cycle, it will continue. When you start healing and you start showing yourself self-love and self-care every day, and you start showing up for yourself a little differently, guess what? You start showing up in the world differently too. And people notice. People want to be like, oh yeah, I want to be like her, because look at how good she's doing. Look how bright she's shining. Look at these amazing things she's accomplishing. Yeah, people, even friends, family, even people you may not even know or that are close with you, they will want to, eventually change as well. By healing yourself, you're giving others permission to heal too. And that is huge, because fortunately, these things are like curses that are passed down from generation to generation. And that's how we kind of continue doing the same thing, because nobody does the work to stop it. And so I'm so glad that I was the one to stop it in my family and break some generational curses that have been on my family's line. Becoming your best self requires doing things that you've never done before. Start small, start today, tell yourself that you love you, write about your day, and do one thing that lights you up. And then take your power back by pouring into your own cup, because when you shine, the whole world shines brighter with you. That also helps you take control of your day. Feel amazing eventually. In the beginning it may not feel so great because you're doing something different, you're going against the grain that you've been probably used to doing, and that's okay. It may feel uncomfortable in the beginning, but the more you heal, the more you start doing this and making this part of your everyday life, it just becomes the norm, right? Start small with these habits, and the habits will grow, and then they will become your norm. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, comment below of what is one small way you can pour into your own cup today. I am also starting a community on Facebook as a private group for women who are on their journey of self-love, self-care. And if you would like support and just having a community around that, I'll put the link in. in the description. So if you are wanting to join the group, just hit join. It is a newer group, so we're a little small right now, but I'm sure that we will grow over time. Wanted to kind of let you know that too. I'm gonna leave the link, and you could request to join, and then I will go ahead and add you. Hope this was helpful, and happy healing. And remember, take your power back one day at a time by loving yourself every day, no matter how crazy life gets. Love ya. Bye.